addressed it Dear Precious Angel, and we've called him Precious Angel ever since.
It takes a special human being to come forward to be tested, to undergo counseling, have a medical exam history taken, and to say yes. From the boundaries of the universe to the depth of your soul, embark on a journey through the unknown and unexplained. Hello and welcome, this is Patrick McNee. Today, we'll show you the latest technological development designed to end our quest for immortality. The world of science fiction and fantasy is filled with tales of people returning from the grave. Our story is not so much a tale about Frankenstein or mad scientists, but about people who have made a decision that upon death, they wish to undergo cryonic suspension with the hope of one day being revived.
Does the soul exist? Is there such a thing as reincarnation? Or when we die, do we simply cease to exist? Whether a viable solution or a desperate hope, cryonics offers a possible reprieve from death. The first question, what is cryonics?
Cryonics means taking people who have been labeled as dead by today's medical criteria and placing them in a circumstance where they won't change very further in liquid nitrogen at 320 below zero, holding them there until they can be looked at by doctors of the future who might, using different criteria, decide they're alive and repairable. The whole point of cryonics is not love of being frozen, it's love of staying alive.
The doctors have told me that they can do nothing for me, that my body is dying. They told me to think of the future. They told me to think about my family.
At least two options that Alcor offers. One is whole body suspension, where the entire body is frozen. That's a minimum of $120,000, most of which is actually invested so that the patient can be cared for an indefinite period of time. We also have another option called neuro-suspension, where only the person's head is frozen, or very occasionally the person's brain. And the reasoning behind this is who we are is in our brain.
Now, are you planning on undergoing full body suspension?
The doctors tell me that my body is no longer of service to me. Only my brain can survive. I think about my children. I think that one day I can see my children as adults without my body. Sometimes it hurts.
While cryonics offers us hope, the scientific feasibility is not so simple.
We don't want to have people that look like us in the future. We want to have us there. We do know already that we can freeze sperm and corneas and heart valves and skin and many other human organs, including frozen embryos, fertilized embryos for in vitro fertilization. And these work just fine at that temperature. So at least there's a proof of principle there. We don't know yet how memories are formed in the brain. So we cannot go in and freeze a brain, thought, and examine it and see if the memories are still there. Even in very elementary animals, we can't do that. That should be solved in the next 10 years, though. Scientists are getting very close to understanding that. And then we can really begin to make progress because we can know where the identity of that person is.
Eric Drexler, in his book Engines of Creation, discusses how future development of nanotechnology can reverse the severe cellular damage caused by low-temperature freezing.
We think that a lot of repair in the future may be done by using nanotechnology, which is the next step smaller than microtechnology. It means building machines at molecular size, which could actually go inside cells and do repairs, much like the machines inside our cells already do, but these will be programmed to do more things.
Okay, will you show me the procedure? If I came in here, what would happen to me?
As soon as the patient has been declared dead, they're placed inside this mobile rescue cart. We pack them in ice, add water, start circulating it to cool the patient as quickly as possible. We also add a number of different medications to protect the brain, and to circulate these medications, we use this heart-lung resuscitator, which is basically a mechanical CPR machine, and this keeps the blood flowing and gets the medications to the brain. Once we're back here in Scottsdale with the patient, we place the patient on the operating table, still packed in ice, we want to keep it very cold, and we do heart bypass surgery to connect the patient's circulatory system to this set of pumps. This is a bypass machine just like used in regular hospitals. The object here is to replace up to 70% of the water in the patient's body with a chemical called glycerol, same thing as glycerin. The nice thing about glycerol is when it freezes, it does not expand like water does, and it tends not to form crystals. It vitrifies like window glass. So this protects the patient's cells from most of the freezing damage that would otherwise occur. In this tank, the patient will be cooled down to the temperature of dry ice. The patient, wrapped in plastic, will be lowered into this oil. This oil is made of silicone. It will be pre-cooled to about 10 degrees below freezing. Once the patient is at dry ice temperature, -110, we pull the patient out, wrap them in a sleeping bag for padding, and then strap them into this aluminum pod for physical protection. They're strapped here, head down, and the top is placed on. The pod is lifted up in the air with a hoist, and we slide it into a dewar, a large stainless steel container, for the cool down to -320 Fahrenheit in liquid nitrogen.
Is there a soul? And does cryonics validate or reject the idea of reincarnation or a divine afterlife?
Sometimes I pray that God forgives me. I know what I'm doing is wrong. I know my body's failing me, but I want to live. I want to live, and I'm afraid to die. I don't want to die.
That's our show for today. Before closing, a final note. With all the grief and turmoil in our world so graphically exploited, it is indeed a pleasure to recognize and applaud the kindnesses of humanity that still prevail.